Okay, so this is the Foundations of Rome. This is the Emperor Edition. Comes in an absolutely enormous box, and giving you this top-down view is not the best way for me to show you this, but it's the only way I can fit it on for you to get this. But let me turn it onto its side and it'll give you an idea. So this is the side of the box. So you can see it is absolutely huge. It is almost as high as it is wide. It's heavy. This is the rear of the box, kind of shows what's included, talks a little bit about it. Really solid piece of kit. You feel like you're getting a lot for your money. And let me tell you, you do get a lot. I backed this on Kickstarter a couple of years ago. I had various delays with COVID and stuff. It came unexpectedly in the post this week, and I have been very impressed with this. Played a couple of games, and I can say, spoiler, if you don't want to watch all of the video, this game has an insanely high production value, box control, very simple gameplay, but it's the devil's in the detail. Lots of nuance. We've only played the base game, and there's a lot there to dig into. In the base game, there are 5 expansions, as well as the Monuments expansion, which is included in this. A lot of repeatability, a lot of replayability in this box here. Very, very happy. I would recommend this to anybody. So let's dig into it a little bit further. Let's open up. I always like that. Really, I call it the Apple experience, when you unbox something and the air friction kind of stops it from just opening. First thing is, in the inside, it's just as big. There's a thank you, and then you've got all of the backers, and this goes all the way around all the sides of this box. I haven't found my name on here because I don't want to waste half an hour of my time doing that. I might see what backer number I was and just try and find it on here. This is kind of a nice thing. Nice little touch. So coming around to the front, this is where all the stuff is. If I tilt the box, you can see what you're getting. So each of these trays is a player tray. So you can play it to 5 players. I've got the 5-player expansion here. This is the Monuments expansion, and this is all the other stuff needed to play. So why so big? It's because of these, and I'll show you exactly what you're getting. I'll just use one of the colours. We'll use yellow because I've already prefixed pieces from that. But I'll take these out and we'll look at each of them individually. So to start with, let me take out, this is the main Foundations of Rome piece. So this has the baseboard, it has all the pieces in, so we'll look at that in a second. Next piece is, this is the Monuments expansion. If you're just buying the base game, it doesn't include Monuments. I've not played with Monuments yet, but I have it because I needed to. And then each player gets one of these. And hopefully now you can start to see why it's so big, because everybody gets one of these. And we'll dig into exactly what you're getting in each of these players' trays. So let me put this aside. Okay, so here we have the base Foundations of Rome box. Nice little embossed tray cover on there, and then we have what we've got inside. So first piece I can show you, this is the era board. So this is where you put all your cards. Very nice quality on this. That's your victory point and population tracker. This is the base game board. So here you see, this is for 2 and 3 players. You flip it over the other side, you have it all the way up to 5 players. So double fold, nice thick card, good quality. Foundations of Rome rulebook. this is all of your coins. You don't actually need this in the Emperor set. For the Senator and other sets you do. You do need the first player token. But I'll show you why you don't need those in a second. You also have some extra pieces on the Emperor level for Will of the Consul, which is basically a cooperative version of the game. If you don't have the Emperor version, then basically you can use one of the unused players' counters for this, but this is just for the Will of the Council. So then we get into the tray itself and the pieces. So this is why you don't need those coins on the Emperor level, because they provide you with these beautiful metal coins. So really nice touch. It's a really nice upgrade. It just makes the game feel like it's a quality product. These are really nice little 1 and 3 denomination silver pieces. So I really like that. These are the trackers that you use on that population and victory tracker. Little acrylic cubes in bright colours. These are all of the inserts for each of the player trays. So before you play the first time, you need to put these in. These are coloured plastic, printed on one face. It's worth taking some time to make sure you get them in the right things. They're difficult to remove. They're not supposed to be removed once you've done them. I've already done this for the base level game. I haven't done it for the Emperor level. I've done the yellow one, so I'll show you the yellow tray. But obviously those won't be present once you've done that. They'll be actually on the game pieces themselves. Some extra cards. With the Emperor level, you get objectives for, again, one of the expansion pieces, turn guides, these little sorts of things. And then you get deed cards and further deed cards and some of the other pieces, planning cards and things for the Will of the Consul. So these are included in all versions of the game. The other cards are extras, but production quality is great. Box control, really good. So once you get rid of these, you have an extra tray there, and all of these pieces will then obviously go into one of these pieces. So these will just pop out and just lie in your tray here. So they've really thought about, you know, yeah, it's great, you've got all these pieces, you buy these expansions, where do the expansion pieces go? Well, this is where they go. You can see these pop out really easily, really nice pre-cut card, good quality cardstock. You know, it's thick, it's nice quality. It's actually slightly printed on the back with kind of black marble kind of effect. So you can see these are popping out really easily, you know, no big tabs on those. So I'm just going to quickly pop all of these out so I don't have to do it again. Just to demonstrate, in terms of box control, they've thought about this. I'm going to put that first player in there as well. No need to find an extra, you know, takeaway box or something to be able to store this. So I really like the way that it's produced. I really like the way it feels like a really good quality product. It's really impressive. Then you pop this back on, it all fits nicely, there's nothing extra, it keeps it all in and rigid, so it's just really nice. Moving on to the player tray. So I've chosen yellow here because it's the 5th player. I've already put all of these pieces in place, but just opening this up, again, vac formed tray cover, just keep everything in place. These are your buildings. So you have, and I really like this, these are actually only present in the Monuments expansion. In the regular game you don't get these little counters because you don't have the monuments, you don't need to claim them. Each colour actually has its own different, not only different colour, but different type of counter for your lots. So the game itself is a very simple game. You have Rome, you have a bunch of building lots on there, cards representing those. You get a certain number to begin with, you can buy lots to go through, and you can build on those. So you are an architect in the foundations of Rome, wanting to build for the glory of Rome and be the best architect for glory and valour. That's at its base what it is. There's a lot of subtlety and complexity in there, but these just represent what lots you own, the empty lots that you've bought and are going to develop on, and then you can put these buildings on when you have the right number of adjacent lots. And then these little pieces that you've pre-inserted tell you what you're going to get from that. In this case, it tells you it's a foundry. You're going to get 3 silver when you petition Romulus for extra funds to do your building from this building. So normally you would get 5 silver. With that building on the board as well, you get 8. With that you can buy other lots to expand, and you can see how this goes. You also have population buildings, which increase your population, and then civic buildings, which do other stuff. And this is where some of the subtlety and cleverness of this game comes to play. The other thing I really like about this is, apart from the fact these buildings are pretty detailed, considering these are, just injection molded, single piece, they are really, really nice. If you wanted to paint these, you could, but there's no real need. So they're just exceptionally, they just feel really good quality. So again, the whole feeling of this game is one of quality, of one of substance. But the other thing I like is civic buildings, commercial buildings, and residential buildings are all easily identified because they're all slightly different colours. So civic buildings are this light grey, residential buildings this sort of slightly beige colour, and commercial buildings are this kind of greyish, brown, tan kind of thing. So immediately identifiable which buildings do what. So that's a really nice little feature as well, I think. And again, each player gets one of these, and again the complexity and nuance of the game comes in where you're placing your buildings, what buildings you're placing, especially the civic buildings, because you earn victory points with the civic buildings based on what they are next to. And that doesn't matter whether they're yours or somebody else's. You can tear down buildings and put buildings on top of them, but they have to be larger buildings. So some of these large buildings, once they're down, they're down. You can't change them. Obviously you have to own the lots to be able to do that. But it's quite an interesting game in the way it plays out. The last piece here is the Monuments expansion. So the Monuments expansion, I'd say I haven't yet played with, but just to give you an idea of what this is. So these are unique buildings that are available for anybody to build if they meet those requirements. And obviously some of these are very odd shapes, you've got to have the right lots there. But just again, to give you an idea, the quality of these pieces is quite remarkable. The detail, the sculpting, the finesse on some of these. The Temple of Neptune here, the trident is nicely formed, his hands. These details really are like 1/72nd scale on this. Obviously the building's much smaller scale than that, but that is the same as a 1/72nd scale figure. Really impressive. So, Monuments expansion, you can see there are little places here for those little monument markers to go in. Whoever built them puts their relevant colour piece in these. And these all do different things, and you can see lots of victory points available depending on what you build. So again, as an expansion, really nice. I mean, the quality of these, look at this. I mean, the Temple of Vulcan here, incredible piece. The detail, the casting. And this is this, I'm not quite sure what it is because it has some flexibility, but it is quite rigid. And if you see these edges are sharp. There is no, bending like you get in some, like the bones type material from Reaper. It's a little bit more solid than that, but it still has some flexibility. So things like this, there's a tiny bit of bend on the spear, a tiny bit, not a lot, but it just gives enough flexibility so it's not going to break if you knock it or drop it. which I like. Yet still, see here, look at that. Incredible detail. Again, this figure here is equivalent to what, a 144, maybe 15 mil kind of figure. These columns, there is no warping on them. They're all pretty vertical. Pretty impressive stuff.